Hi, Tony.
Hello. Hiya.
Oh, I think I wasn't expecting you till this afternoon, but you're more than welcome.
Oh, okay. No, I'm definitely signed up for the 10 o'clock, and then there's another one, isn't there, following? But I'm going to have to work while I'm listening, if that's okay.
Okie dokie. I was going to try and get you involved as well. So if you're able to do that, it would be great. And but if you can't, that's one of those things.
I'll see how I go, if that's all right. Great. Okay. Just trying to work out how to get onto the. Okay. I think I'm making a mess of your sheet here.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you need to find the, once you've got annotate, you go to the text function rather than the draw. That would be easier.
Do the what? Sorry. Text.
So I don't know, are you on what sort of device are you on?
I'm just on an iPad at the moment.
Okay, so there should be a little round circle with a pen in it.
Yeah.
So that should be able to write for you, but it doesn't matter. I was going to do it for you. The only reason your name wasn't there is I've obviously made an error and put you in for the afternoon, not the morning. So I apologise for that. I can pop you on. Louise.
Hello.
Welcome. Are you able to put your camera on, or?
Hang on.
Just be nice to see some faces.
Hi.
Oh, not only nice to see some faces, but equally nice to see a background. There we go, pop Tony in, and just while we're waiting, really, this screen is, we have something like this at all of our training, call it an entry board. We've all been to training, haven't we, turned up in a room and thought, I don't know if I'm in the right room. So we like to make sure everyone knows once they get here that they are indeed in the right room. Morning, Savan.
Hi.
Am I able to see you live, or not so much? You're busy doing something else.
No, I'm with you. I'm just looking at the screen, trying to understand how to navigate that board.
No problem. What type of device are you on?
I've got it. Now I know what is it that we're using. I know, that's great.
Yeah, that's fine. And Louise, have you written on the screen before, or do you need some help with that?
No, I haven't. I was looking for a how to do it, but I can't see where it is.
Okay, that's fine. Are you on a laptop or a tablet?
I'm on a laptop, yeah.
Yeah, so if you go up to the top where it says that you're seeing my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there should be a button there that you can click for more functions, or mine's different from yours, so it's different. And then annotate.
Let's try that.
And then text.
Oh, there you are. Got a signature. I've got to write my hobby. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Failed at the first hurdle there. Text.
Happy to write yours, Tony, if it's still causing you an issue.
I'm trying to work it out, and I'm trying to work out what I'm going to put.
Oh, okay. Doesn't matter. It was, as I say, simply just while we're waiting for people to arrive. I may have to move on in a second anyway. I'm hoping Alice will perhaps be, lovely, Louise, be with us in a minute or two. But because we've only got half an hour, I've got lots to get through. So just waiting to see if she's, trying to see if she's in the waiting room, but she's not. Let's maybe give her one more minute. Ah, lovely. There we go. All sorted. Well done, Tony. I haven't got Alice either, have I? So it's very nice. Give them one more minute. Just while we're waiting, welcome to our first Blended Open Day session. My name is Simone, and I'm the mentoring facilitator. So slightly different role from a lot of people who work at your own place, who you may or may not be hearing from later if you come to some of the other sessions. So I'm going to have to just sort of get on. I apologise for those of you who were here and here nice and early. Tony, that was you. For people who may come in the midway, and I'll have to just sort of say hello and that sort of thing. So do just bear with me if that's okay. So I'm just going to get rid of all of this writing, otherwise what we'll do is find it elsewhere while I hop to the next screen. So there will be some more writing, so hopefully you found where it is now, that we shouldn't have a problem, but I'm really happy just to help you out if you can't you know, find it again. Lovely. So welcome to this session. As I said, I'm the mentoring facilitator, so I concentrate on training these skills quite a lot. We're going to look at the asset-based approach. We're going to look at how we use this approach in our tenancy and independent living skills plus courses. We'll also look at the restorative approach. Both of these are part of our values. If you go to Jessie Rackham's session later, you'll find that she'll talk about, or at least mention, all of the other values that we use. And then just to finish off, looking at the social discipline window. Some of these things you may have heard of before, others you've not heard of, and that's absolutely fine. That's one of the reasons for obviously doing the session. When anyone comes to a session, they come with the group come with a mixture, and nobody's a mixture of knowledge. Nobody's input is any less than any others. Just quickly, in terms of Zoom guidelines, as I mentioned, we've got half an hour. Could do a little bit of Q&A at the end. So if I haven't got time to answer your question, I'm happy if you just sort of shout your question out or put it in the chat function, although it's always a bit difficult keeping an eye on the chat function and everything else. If I don't manage to answer it straight away, I'll say to you that we'll do at the end. I am taking some pictures of the screens at least that we work on. So if you want to change your name just to your first name or your first name and initial, we're also videoing the session. We will be asking you if you are happy for us to share those externally. Otherwise, we'll just use them internally for staff training. So normally in Zooms, you know, we always ask for mute. I'm going to ask you not to mute unless you've got a very noisy background, because I really do want you to get involved and just be able to talk. And it's always difficult as a trainer, seeing people are really giving a lovely answer, you think, but you can't hear them because they're on mute. So as we've already found, I'm hoping you'll do some annotating and get involved. We're very participative trainers, and when we went online, we decided we would find all the tools we could to make it as participative as our normal training. Lovely supportive group, as I said. We're going to be nice and collaborative in our sessions. Confidentiality, because we are videoing it, if you were wanting to talk about somebody you have worked with, for example, could you just try and keep names out of it, just to maintain confidentiality if you do talk about any service users that you're working with. Does that all seem fine? I went through it very quickly. I'm assuming lots of you have done Zoom things before, so some of those guidelines will be the same and some slightly different. Anyone got any questions at that point?
Nope.
Lovely. I was also hoping we'd have our 2 other people turn up, but we haven't, so we'll get on if that's okay. So first things first, again, what you're seeing equally is parts of the training that we do either online or face-to-face. We'll always start off with what we call a trailer. It's a scaling statement. It's a scaling statement between 0 and 5. 0 is the very unhappy face, 5 is the very happy face. The little dots on there to represent 1, 2, 3, and 4 if you want to sort of work out where you're at. What I'd really like to know, and just as I say, no such thing as a wrong answer, I'd like to know honestly where you would put yourself on a scale of 0 to 5, and I know what working an asset-based and restorative way means. Thanks, Elaine. You can use the stamp function on your annotate, or you can just use your, put your initials or whatever it is. There are little stamps that you can do, hearts and things, but any kind of mark just to place yourself. Tony, again, if you're still having issues, you could just let me know where you put yourself. Lovely, thanks, Louise. I can see you down there at sort of a 2.5. A 4, and Tony similarly at a sort of 2.5. Is that right? Oh, lovely. You found the hearts. They're great, aren't they?
Amazing, amazing.
Great, okie dokie. So that's where you're starting. We've obviously got, as I said, a range in the room. There's some knowledge and some people know a little bit more than others. Please, don't be worried about that. We are, I'm hoping, even in this very short session, that perhaps you'll move up by the end. We'll see. So what I will do now is just take a picture of that. I'll get everyone out of the screen for the second to be able to do that without any concern. Great, lovely. And then I'll just move on. Just bear with me while I clear the screen. You can tell I haven't done this for a while. We've gone back to face-to-face, and means that I've sort of lost some of the techniques we had built up from doing our online courses. So if you can find that annotate, I think everyone's just about worked out where that is now, and that text function would be great. What I'd like you to do is just spend a little time. You've told me you kind of your knowledge level. Please don't worry if you're not completely sure. I'd like you just to throw out some ideas. What do these words mean to you? Do you know what it means? So apart from hearts, we'll have some writing as well. I like a heart, that's fine. So if I give you a minute or two, just to throw out any ideas you might have about what an asset-based approach could mean.
Writing?
Yeah,
Sorry.
write it on there. Yeah, that would be great. Just throw out your ideas. So again, when we do face-to-face training, we use a technique called pinpoint facilitation, which you'll see some pictures of in a little while, and we get everyone involved and everyone writing and giving their ideas. If anyone's having problems with the writing, just let me know and I'll do that for you. Lovely, thanks, Tony. Put that down there for you.
I wanted to add a bit more to that, actually.
Yeah, no worries. Carry on, you can pop them in other places.
There you go.
Great. Louise, how are you doing? Are you writing a long essay or just trying to find it?
No, I'm just because I don't know. I was cheating and doing a bit of research to see if I could.
So, I mean, I would break down the words. What may be asset? What does that bring to mind? Rather than, you know, sort of worrying too much, just have a think about what it might mean. Have a look at what other people have put. See if that then starts some thoughts for you. And Sylvain, I know that you've got an idea because you've put yourself at a 4. Maybe it was the restorative bit, so you could maybe put a little sentence for us as well.
I did write existing skills. That was me.
Ah, that was you. I apologise.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. I saw it was in blue text, so I accidentally thought it was same as Tony. Thank you.
I choose a different colour text.
No, that's fine. That's me. It does actually come up when you're writing, but I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so is that all the words we were wanting to put on that in terms of using an asset-based approach? I mean, I'm happy if anyone's got something else and it's just quicker to. Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. That's a good one. Thank you. But I'm happy to write it myself if anyone wants to shout anything and they're getting frustrated with the writing.
Oh, I am.
Yeah. Is there more thinking going on there? Sylvain, are you working on something?
No, it's but not just what they have or what they know, is who they know as well.
Excellent. And so that's why community, I think, fits in nicely there, doesn't it? Happy to write. There we go. Asset-based community development. Thank you.
We love a good acronym, don't we?
Oh, we love an everyone loves an acronym. Great. Thank you. What I'll do is, again, I'll just pop you out of the picture and I'll take a shot of that. So that's a really good start. Thank you for that. Seems to be some knowledge in the room. So I'll just clear that. What I'll do next is show you what we use as a definition. I'm not going to say it's the right definition. I'm simply going to say it's what we use as a definition. Clearly, you know, you can look up a word in 3 different dictionaries and you'll find 3 different definitions. So working in asset-based way means to us making visible and valuing the skills, the knowledge, the connections and the potential in every person. So my first question to you would be, how close do you think you got as a group thinking about the slide you just created? How close did you get to it?
Not quite close. Quite close.
I think you did. Absolutely quite close, yeah. And considering some people were relatively low on the scale in terms of understanding, and it could have been because I was a bit naughty on that scale and put both the asset-based and the restorative approach. So you're absolutely right. So my next question to you is, what have I done, even in this short session, that has been asset-based? It's a your own place value. It's part of everything we do. So have I done anything in this short session so far that has been asset-based?
Well, used our IT skills to interact.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a belief in you that you would be able to find out and be able to work out the IT.
You've also uncovered what we already knew about asset-based.
Absolutely. So the short answer to my question is really this exercise, apart from other things, which as Louise mentioned, there are other things too, but this exercise is a classic example of using the asset-based approach. Other trainers who maybe don't use the approach may have said to you, now I'm going to teach you about the asset-based approach. Only the asset-based approach tells me that actually you probably can work out or know, or particularly as a group, and when we do it face-to-face, it's obviously easier for the group to have a chat about it, and between them, they will come up with something very similar. So, you know, I don't need to teach people things. They're between them and with their own knowledge, they know already. So it's something that's really key to us. Sivan, did you have something you wanted to say?
You let us time to think as well.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm not allowing as much time as I would really like, clearly, because I've got this very short session and on something that I train a lot in and normally have longer, so sort of panic sets in. But yes, allowing you time to think. I hope that perhaps I've been positive as well. It is about giving positive feedback, isn't it? But for me it is, and I don't know if this is something that happens to you, but I feel that often I may see a friend of mine and I might think, oh, their hair looks nice, or that's a lovely dress, or oh, they did something really nice. And yet I can quite, or previous to working at your own place, keep that in my head and not verbalize it. You know, we'll often sort of think, oh, that was good that work that person did, or that was a very funny thing they said, and yet we don't always verbalize it. So for me, it is about making visible. It is about speaking, saying the words of the things that we are seeing, and giving names to skills and knowledge and connections that people have. So I'll go on to tell you a little bit more about how we do that in a second, but let's go, unless anyone's got any other questions. Let's move on then. Oh, I've gone too far. Let's just start ourselves back at looking at tenancy and independent living skills workshops. Just shout out for me this time, rather than perhaps typing. I'm happy to do the annotating. Shout out for me the kind of person you think needs to attend, needs to come to one of the tenancy and independent living skills workshops. What are they like? You know, what is their key characteristics? Just shout them out for me.
Someone who's been through a period of difficulty and needs some support to get back to some positive standard of living, I would imagine, and is ready to do so and willing.
Lovely, some great ones there, Tony.
I think people who perhaps are experiencing a change in their circumstances, so somebody going into work who hasn't been in work before, doesn't know, you know, it's a change in managing your money and how you manage your life.
Lovely. Okay, thank you for adding that one. Anyone with questions, worries or doubts? Yeah. We've got one more maybe.
Perhaps people who've not had a very positive role model to learn from.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your contributions, and also for falling really neatly into my trap. A few positive role models. So I was a little bit naughty. I sort of said that we weren't moving on. Oh, thank you. Yeah, another one there. That we weren't moving on from the asset-based, or we were moving on from the asset-based approach and looking at something else. But actually, we were continuing with the asset-based approach, and that is the reason for that. I'm just moving that over there. Is to highlight that we are a deficit-based society. We concentrate wholly on people's, or mostly we concentrate on people's deficits, the things they haven't got, the problems that they do experience. So it was a little naughty, and I made sure I set the exercise up to try and get some of those answers from you. But really, as I say, as a society, we really do concentrate on people's things they don't have, and the problems that they have. So you can see that I've tried to move on to one side of my little character, sort of what could be seen as negative things. They're not all very negative. And on the other side, I've got ready and willing as a sort of positive side. So it's very unbalanced in that way. I'm just going to take a picture. I'm sorry to have tricked you. Bit naughty of me. Just to make a point. Hopefully not mind too much. Great. So what I want to say about the types of people that come to our sessions is that they come with a huge numbers of skills, lots of knowledge, and we want them to see that, because often they don't. So we do an exercise called Tenancy and Independent Living Skills, where we ask them all the things that they do in a day. We've done this with prisoners who have very restricted days, and just, you can see there on the top things like watching movies, cooking meals, paying bills, you know, whatever it might be, reading, brushing your teeth. And then we ask them to consider what skills they may have because they can do those things. So underneath this is the names of skills that they're able to give themselves. Sometimes we have to help them with the words that might want to sum up what they're trying to get at, but massive amount of skills you can see there that we come up with just from daily things that they do. I'll show it to you also in a face-to-face course. This is the pinpoint technique that I mentioned to you earlier, so exactly the same exercise, but done using pinpoint, and again, huge numbers of skills. We then go on and move on from this exercise, this part of the exercise, to ask them how they would solve problems. So we give them problems that might be relevant. So for our school pupils, it's taking GCSEs and going to university or applying for a job. But in Tenancy and Independent Living Skills, it might be you know, having a bill that they can't pay, or the boiler's broken. And then we ask them to pull from the list of skills that they have named that they have, which of those skills they will use to solve the problems that they face. Any questions on any of that? Again, a really quick run through of how we use the asset-based approach in both our Tenancy and Independent Living Skills, but also our employability skills courses, which is what we're running. These are pictures from our Year 9 sessions.
This is brilliant.
We have a slightly similar thing that we use. I have laminated things, they move around. We call it skills bingo. They can choose.
Love it, absolutely love it. Yes, we ask them to talk about skills that they are able to say they have. We ask them to give skills to their colleagues, their other people, participants. You know, what would you say they have? We look at, we have sort of cards probably similar to you, ones they want to work on. So yeah, it's brilliant that we get people to name skills. Clearly in our employment sessions, it is about being able to write a CV and be able to name those skills that you have, you know, and have a wider vocabulary of words. Lovely. So that's a little bit about the asset-based approach. Just quickly going to now introduce you to the restorative approach, which does link really neatly with the asset-based approach. So we're going to play a little game with fish. There's not quite enough of us, so 1, 2, 3. I will play one of the characters. So just bear with me. Pop to the next slide. So I'm going to play a character called Ringo, and he's stranded on a desert island, and he's hungry, and he sees me. Can't see me twice, but let's just say there was someone else in the room. Someone else on the island comes to ask that person for help, and that person ignores them even though they have fish. So as Ringo, I feel really upset about that, really quite disturbed, and quite possibly I'm going to starve. So that's not a great place or approach to be. What I'm going to ask is, Louise, I'm going to ask you to be Paul. Can you imagine you're stranded on a desert island, which I think with your background works really well.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm in Norfolk. It's about the same thing.
You're hungry, and you're going to see me. I'm on the island as well. I'm not Ringo anymore. I'm me, and I'm going to give you a fish dinner prepared just how I like it. So, can you tell me what's the result of that for tonight and for the future, and how you feel about that?
I'm so hungry. I come to you for help, and you give me a fish dinner. Well, I feel happy.
Mm-hmm.
I like fish.
Yep.
I'm going to feel full. I'm going to have some energy to do the things I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like making a hut.
Yeah, I haven't promised to make you any more fish dinners. And by the way, I have stuffed the fish with something that you don't like. I'm not sure what that is at the minute. So.
Oh, right. Okay, so give me a fish dinner prepared how you like it. Okay,
yeah,
I didn't read it properly. Well, maybe I like that too. I don't know. I'm quite
you
open
might
to.
do. Yeah. Okay, let's just see now. Oh, clicked ahead. Hang on. Let's come to Sylvain. So am I pronouncing your name correctly? I'm sorry if I'm not.
Yeah.
Lovely. So your character called John now. You've changed your name anyway, which is easier for me to pronounce to make sure I get it right. You're stranded on a desert island. You're hungry, and you're going to see me, and you'll come and ask me for help. I'm going to give you a fishing rod, easy for me to say, and teach you to fish. what's the result for tonight and the future, and how do you feel, particularly if you may be aware of Paul's experience on a different desert island with a different person who was just given a fish dinner he didn't really like?
Well, yeah, so I'm happy because then I've got the means to provide for myself. However, my fishing rod is a little bit fragile and I don't know how to repair it. So it's nice in a way, but also a bit uncertain. I'm a bit unsure about if I'm actually very good at fishing, despite having had the fishing teaching class. And I'm less hungry. I would love to put something else in a fish too. Maybe I could learn something else.
Excellent. Well, that's really good because, John, you've just become allergic to eating fish. What are you going to do?
It's sand.
So learn to harvest seaweed or something.
How has John learnt skills before?
From someone else. Go and ask for help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you could come back to me and I could teach you how to do it again or do something different, couldn't I? Right, Tony, you're still there, and you are going to have a name change, Tony. You're going to be George now. You're going to be George. You're stranded on a completely different desert island and you're hungry, funnily enough. And you see me and you come and ask me for help. So, Tony, George, not Tony, I'm going to ask you and talk to you about your ideas. I mean, do you know how you might catch fish? Have you done anything else like catching fish before? Have you got any other skills that could help you work out how to fish? And you're going to work it out yourself. How are you feeling about that, and what would be the result?
Right, okay. So I have to kind of think about this, don't I, in terms of what's happened to me in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and actually dig into my skills rather than rely on somebody else to supply for me.
Mm-hmm.
And just give it a go. Just go for it, really.
Yeah, and if you manage to do it, how would that make you feel?
Oh, I feel fantastic. Absolutely
Brilliant.
fantastic. And then everybody will be coming chasing me for
Absolutely.
if I do it, I'd be a bit panicky, if I'm honest. But I'd keep trying and persevering and find somebody else to talk to.
Yeah, that's fine, because I've given you a magic wand and that allowed you to make sure you definitely worked out how to fish. But very sensibly, George, also known as Tony, you've decided you need some more variety in your diet. You want to hunt wild boar. Oh. So, what will you probably do, particularly in comparison to John, who had to come back to me to ask me how to do things?
Well, I'd give it a go and try it with my fishing rod. And probably soon work out that wouldn't work, so I'd have to adapt that. But saying that my experience with fishing was all successful and good, I'd be more confident, I think, in finding a way to do it. Keep going if I find anybody else to ask information from. So yeah, I'll just keep going and see how I got on with that. And if it wasn't the boar, I'd have to find something else.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to do a vegan and vegetarian options available as well.
I'm hopeful, put it that way. So.
That's brilliant. Thank you. So let me just click for that. So what we're really represented there, I think you got the idea, is something called the social discipline window. It's used in criminal justice and elsewhere. So just wanted to highlight how we use it. There are 4 aspects to the social discipline window. Can I see a show of hands, apart from with Tony though, who's seen the social justice window before? Louise and Savan, have you seen it before?
No,
yes?
No, I haven't.
It's really nice.
Right. So hopefully it's relatively self-explanatory though. What we've got is sort of 4 ways of working with people, which I've just tried to represent with my fish. It doesn't fit brilliantly, but I think you got the general gist. So Ringo was not given anything. It was a very neglectful way of being. That's obviously clearly not something we want to do at your own place, being neglectful. John was given his fish dish, I think, not necessarily how he liked it, or was that Paul? Can't remember, one of them. So you can do things for people and you can do things to people, either against their will, for example, or just without even asking them their involvement. But very clearly what we want to do is do things with people. It links really nicely, as we said, with the asset-based approach of if we believe people can do things for themselves. But we don't say that any man is an island. They are part of a community, and part of their assets are the people they can talk to. Then with the George scenario, what we had is just a way of kind of building up those skills, saying what do you know already, maybe giving some of our expertise, and allowing George to feel fantastic, I think he said, or fabulous, I can't remember, and confident that he could sort of handle other things. So that's really how we use the social discipline window at your own place, but it's used elsewhere in criminal justice in other ways. Any questions on that? I'm aware I'm nearly at the end of my time, so.
I like it.
No, that was very good.
So the wonderful Terry Pratchett, some of you may know him as an author, has a quote here, which I'm sure is something we've all experienced ourselves. After all, when you seek advice from someone, it's certainly not because you want them to give it. You just want them to be there while you talk to yourself. Yeah. Many a time I've had a friend come and say, I've got this problem, and they tell you the whole problem and you nod in the right places. And at the end they go, oh, thanks for that. Yeah, that's good. That's what I'm going to do. I didn't say anything.
Have you heard of the thinking environment?
I have heard a little of the thinking environment. It's not something I've researched too much, but
you would love it. You would love it. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So just work with 3-4 questions, and the rest of the time you just don't say anything. You listen to people. It's
absolutely
amazing.
Very much how we train our mentoring.
Very close to what you do. Fantastic.
Lovely. So I must ask you a question, and the question is, can you scale yourself on your knowledge of working in an asset-based and restorative way, and whether it's changed in the last 22 minutes, however long I've had?
A question.
You absolutely can, yeah.
Yeah. At the beginning, I knew asset-based, but I didn't know how to grasp the restorative in it. Restorative, the concept of with.
Absolutely.
The outcome of working through a with process, which then you grow, you flourish, you grow. Is that's included? Is that the restorative?
That's the restorative, way of working. So rather than 2 or 4 or not.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well then, yeah, well done. Fantastic. Excellent.
Lovely. And is that another star from you there, Liz?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. So pop a picture of that.
That's really, really good.
Okay, so I haven't really got any time left. I'm hoping you can just wait 1 more minute, perhaps, while I just flip to what is obviously sort of last slide, really. If you haven't got time to stay, because we were finishing really at past with perhaps a little time for question and answers, then please note that we will be sending you an evaluation form in an email. We sort of do a follow-up email for you tomorrow, so we can do that. Equally, I can share it with you in the chat function, so you could take the link now. Some of you are coming to all of the sessions we're doing, so if you just want to do one evaluation about all of the sessions, then that's absolutely fine. Then don't worry too much about this slide. Other than that, if you want to hang around and you've got any other questions, then I am here for a few more minutes for you if you want. Oh, sorry, that's me. Pop back. I was just cutting and pasting something out of the chat bunch.
Thanks, Simone. I'm going to have to go. That was really, really useful.
Yeah,
really.
It was. Yeah.
No worries. That's my absolute pleasure. Thank you ever so much for coming along, and I hope you enjoy some of the other sessions if you're going to them. And equally, do feel free to message me or anyone at your own place if you want any more information about any of this.
Lovely.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
The next one is partnership working webinar is at 11, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. Lovely to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I think I finished as well. 2 of them didn't turn up, and I had one person I wasn't expecting. Apart from that, it was fine. Tony, I thought he was coming. I thought he was coming this afternoon. It may have been my fault. I've written the names and haven't got necessarily the right people.
Sorry about that.
No, I would say it was quite possibly me.
Did it feel all right?
Yeah, just about managed, but I only had 3 people, so I think that I can't get rid of that. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a picture of this and then I need to get off. Yeah, timing wise, I only had 3 people who made a comment, so to comment, and therefore it worked all right, whereas I'm slightly worried that if I had more people talking, I wouldn't have managed to stick to time. And Jess, bless her, has way more slides than I do.
Okay.
And I'm not 100% sure how she's going to.
Which one?
Jess M, sorry. But that's, for her to worry about, you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, I'm coming out now. Stop the share. And